one-on-one with Dr. Bob. I've got Kevin Hanson from the Hansons-Brooks Distance Project. And we're down here in St. Petersburg for the Suncoast 10K, a charity race, local charity race, in support of the Ronald McDonald House. Welcome to Florida.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah, the weather's a little bit cold out there this morning, but you had a chance to bring down 4 elites and 7 high schoolers down to Florida, and hopefully you guys are having a good time. What were your goals coming down? I know that you folks are out in Davenport and you've been doing some training with the elites and the high schoolers. Did you have any specific goals for this time of year?
Yeah, truthfully, we do. Everybody, the high schoolers are a little bit different, but on the elite side, this was more or less a rust buster. This was kind of a race leading up to a race, and so it was a good chance to get out and basically put the racing uniform on, put their flats on, and be in a race situations, things that you sometimes can't simulate in workouts alone. The familiarity with each other in workouts sometimes you become too content, and so it's nice to have others in a race to mix it up with and get your competitive juices flowing. And so the purpose for this for them was exactly that. Melissa, on the women's side, both Melissa and Emily, who ran, are going to be back here in, when I say back here, I mean in the state of Florida, but I mean back for Gate River in a few weeks, and we'll be running the 15K U.S. Championships over in Jacksonville. And so this was kind of for them, kind of a where am I right now kind of thing, leading up to that. But more or less it was, well, I should get to the guys first. The guys are doing something a little bit different. Both of them will be running a very competitive 5K indoors at Notre Dame on the 5th of March. So this was for that, leading up to that, and then that 5K is to kind of hopefully be a springboard for a solid 10K at the end of March at Stanford. And so those two guys are going to try to get their track qualifier for USA Nationals and try to get 28:45 or so range at Stanford in a month, a little over a month. So those, but really it was more about the training block being down here. And you had mentioned the training in Davenport. Truthfully, what we've done is we've rented a house for 3 months, and the idea is to bump athletes in and out of the house for the purpose of, you can train in Detroit year-round where we're at, in Rochester Hills. There's no problem with that. The problem is that once the snow gets there, sometimes it plays on you mentally. We can get out, we can run, we have no problems getting our base workout, we have no problems even getting speed stuff in. But our problem is that when is the snow going to be gone kind of thing. And so having these little 2-week breaks down here and then heading back, and then 2 weeks break down here and heading back, and that's how we're doing it. So we're kind of bumping athletes in and out to do that as more of a mental break than anything else.
Yeah. The Olympic development program at the Distance Project has really reaped some benefits over the last couple of years. Great to see Brian Sell in the Olympics. Your objectives with that program: opportunity for everybody to train together, opportunity to not have the stresses of having a full-time job, local community involvement, so you build a little bit of atmosphere with it, and just the right type of environment really seems to be paying off. Do you think that somewhere down the road we're going to see some more Brian Sells in the near future?
Well, absolutely. You know what? Brian has been great in so many ways because he paved it for our future athletes. He showed them that it's possible. He showed them that you don't necessarily have to be a Foot Locker champion coming out of high school to be successful in college, and that you don't have to necessarily be one of the top 2 or 3 guys coming out of college to be successful at the next level. And so I think what it is he's kept everybody's dream alive for all of our people, because those are the kind of people that we have. But to answer your question, absolutely. I would say our next logical step is going to come probably. We have several men that are working pretty hard, but on the women's side, Desiree Davila, she was 11th in the World Championships, ran 2:27.53 in the marathon, and that was the second fastest American last year, 5 seconds behind Kara Goucher in the same race. To be honest with you, I think she's the best American in the country right now in the marathon. And I know somebody would say, oh, that's just because it's your athlete, you're saying that, so on and so forth. She's 26 years old. She ran the 9th fastest American time ever, and the only female to ever run faster than her at the age that she is Joan Benoit Samuelson. So some lofty company there, I think we will see a few more. She's in the developmental stage, and we'll see a few minute jump from her when she races another marathon this fall.
Yeah. You know, you had a chance to talk about keeping the dream alive, and one of the local runners, Austin Richmond out of Lewiston, who would be, you know, the perfect type of person for the Hansons Distance Project, because here's a guy that was 17:30 in high school, post-collegiate now, 2:25 in Chicago back in the fall. Today he goes out and he runs 30:28. You had a chance to talk to him and maybe build a little bit of fire about keeping that dream alive. Can you share with us what you passed on to him?
Yeah, I think Austin is, you know, the thing is, we always talk about, you know, we assume certain things like, you know, there's certain levels of expectations that are put on people, and we judge talent differently. A lot of people think talent is the guy that is that Foot Locker champion because he proved he has all kinds of this natural talent. I think there's several ways to talk about talent. Talent for a lot of people is that desire, and sometimes some of us running geeks, and I put myself in that category, think that everyone has that fire. All those people have that fire. They don't. And I think that that's the one thing. He you know, in talking with him for a brief period today, what I was most impressed with is his attitude. He seems to really, really understand that it's a process, and that it's not something that you jump into and do immediately, and that it's an incredible amount of hard work. And although the hard work's rewarding at the end, it's also, you have to enjoy the struggle to get there, the striding, and all of the things on the way. It can't be every day be a chore and, oh my gosh, it's this much work or it's that much work. Because if you're not enjoying the struggle, then it's not going to be worth it to you. And I think that he really has that talent. I was very impressed with talking with him today. And the thing is, today, as far as, you know, his time goes, honestly, he's better than he ran today. And that's not to say that he ran poorly. I would just say that it was surprisingly cool today, and it was very windy. And I think that really almost everybody out there would have run about 30 seconds faster. So I think he'd have been flirting with 30 flat today, just being if it were perfect conditions. And that's what I tried to share with him more than anything, is for him, I think that because he hasn't run certain times, he may give certain times too much respect. And you know, you never like to say I'm a 29:30 guy when you haven't broken 30 minutes. But at the same time, you don't want him to think that that 29:30 is great when there's guys out there running 26:30 in the world. So it's that delicate balance between being pleased with where you're at, but at the same time understanding that don't be too impressed with the other guy, because you can respect, but you shouldn't be impressed or in awe.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate what the Distance Project has done for American runners, post-collegians, and we just want to wish you guys all the best, and thanks for talking to us today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Kevin Hanson from the Hansons Distance Project with Brooks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.